What's up, guys? Getting everything set up. This is my first live stream, so barely got the light in the mail today so you can see my chubby face. So little phone mount. So really, right now I'm just going through a few of my tackle bags, tackle boxes, kind of organizing my stuff. I tend to spend more time organizing my stuff than actually fishing, but it's kind of a hobby I like doing. You know, going through your stuff, making sure all your hooks are in the right spot, and this, that, and the other. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. They had a sale at my Walmart where I live, which is really small. It's only like 2 registers, so the Walmart is really small. And I guess they're redoing like the whole fishing section, which I hope turns out to be a good thing, and they don't like get rid of a lot of stuff. I hope they bring in a whole lot more stuff. But they had a bunch of Yum products on sale. These Yum dingers, these are the glitter ones, which I don't know if I'll ever throw that, but I mean, they were like $1. They were like $1. And these are cool. I don't have this color. It's called that Morning Dawn. It's that purple and bluish color, which is pretty cool. Really good color. And these are one of my favorite things to throw. I haven't caught a lot of bass in my life, but most of the bigger ones that I've caught have came off of these. This says Yum Crawdad Assist. Well, I call it a paddle-tailed Senko is what it is. It's like a 5-inch normal Senko or Yum Dinger, and it's got the paddle tail on the end that kicks. And my favorite way of throwing these is on a belly weighted, like a swim bait hook, a belly weighted screw lock hook. And I usually screw the head onto there and just let it fall. I usually throw about an 1/8 ounce, and it kind of falls with a tight shimmy. And man, that little paddle tail on the edge of that Senko. Senkos are deadly to begin with just by themselves, but having that little paddle tail on the end, you know, kind of kicking in the back, gives it just that little bit more action than I think, because everybody's throwing Senkos. I mean, nowadays Senkos are like the deal. So that gives you a little bit different look or presentation than kind of everybody else's throwing, you know. But they had a bunch of Yum products on sale at that Walmart. Trust me, if I had more money, I'd have bought the whole thing. But a few of the things I bought a couple weekends ago, I went to Cabela's. Cabela's is like an hour away from where I'm at. So it's kind of quite far. I didn't even think of that. There we go. Chat messages. These are Biospawn, the plasma tails. And I see these on TV all the time. You see them mainly for drop shotting, because they're kind of a thin worm, kind of like a robo worm. So I guess you could Texas rig it, but I really wouldn't know how thin, because if you look at those worms compared to my really chubby finger, they're really thin worms. So that's kind of weird. But I'm a really big fan of drop shotting. A lot of people don't like drop shotting because it's kind of messy. When you do catch a fish, it kind of spins up and gets kind of tangly. So a lot of people don't like drop shotting. But what I like about drop shotting is when you do throw a worm on there, it keeps it right off the bottom, especially if the fish are kind of tight to the bottom and you're not getting any bites on like your dragging baits, like your jigs or other stuff like that. If you're trying to get it like up into their face, you're like hopping it off the floor. It only like comes up and then it goes down. It comes up and it goes down. And if they're not really wanting to go down and chase it, you're really not going to get any bites. So what I like about the drop shot is that it just kind of hovers right there in front of their face. I mean, you don't have to, you can leave it in the exact same spot for 10 minutes and it's going to stay right there. It's not going to be going down, or you're having to hop it to you to get it to come up and then recast. You could just leave it right there and work it in as slow as you want. So drop shotting, if you haven't really tried drop shotting, I highly recommend drop shotting. It's pretty cool. And another great thing with drop shotting is you can drop shot with really any hook. They have special drop shotting hooks, but just a regular the 99-cent pack at Walmart that you buy of hooks, you use those for drop shotting. So that's pretty cool, and something that I buy a lot of tackle. I buy a lot of tackle, and I don't get to go fishing as much as I'd like to. So what I catch myself is I buy tackle that I really never even get to use because I don't go fishing that much. So I have a lot of new stuff that I've even bought weeks ago that I just really haven't got a chance to throw yet. And partially it is because where I live, it's like an hour away from any body of water. So it's kind of hard to just get off of work. You know, you got a spare hour. You could just go down the road and start fishing, you know. I don't really have that luxury. Mine is like a whole day trip or a half a day trip. I got to pack everything up and drive an hour, hour and a half, and fish. And most of those bodies of water where I do go fish, they're like super pressured, You're nearly elbow to elbow with other fishermen while you're trying to fish. So so even when I do go, I get the time to go. I sit there and I pack all my stuff up. I go, and it's so pressured that I don't really catch any fish. You know, I try throwing everything in my dang tackle bag. Literally, when I say that in my videos, I threw like everything in my tackle bag, like from hard baits to soft plastics, drop shot, everything with scents, rattles, and it really doesn't work out for me. So I get kind of bummed, you know what I mean? And like I said, after taking so much effort to go fishing and then not catching any fish, and I'm trying to make videos for y'all, you know, I want to be making those videos where they're catching 20 or 30 bass a day, you know what I mean? That's freaking to where you catch so many bass you don't even want to show all of them in the video because it's just so many fish. That's the days that I would like to have, you know what I mean? And I'll get there, but like I said, going to those pressured waters and fishing, and not catching anything is kind of a downer, you know what I mean? But I went into Cabela's this last time, and I've seen these online and on the fishing shows by Z-Man. They came out with the Ned rig, as you know. I bought a few of these finesse TRDs. They're really short for the finesse style baits in the wintertime. I bought them specifically for this winter, but I've gone fishing like once or twice this winter. So it's kind of hard to get out there, you know what I mean? But what's cool about these, if you've never seen these are made by Z-Man as well. These TRDs, they call them, or a turd. My cousin kind of brought these to my attention. I never really heard of them until he talked about them. They look just like a Senko. I'm recording on my phone, so not used to it. But they look just like a Senko. They got the round rings on them. So they look identical to a Senko, just smaller, like if you cut it in half. But what's weird about it is like your normal soft plastics, if you grab them and rip them or like pull them, they'll rip in half. These things, you can grab them and stretch them. Look at that. That's like a foot, about a foot long, and you just let them go, and they go right back to the exact same size. They're not torn or misshapen or anything like that. So you can stretch them out, and they just go right back. They're kind of cool to even play with a little bit. But what's pretty neat is they have their own jig heads that Z-Man came out with. They're called mushroom jig heads. And I looked at Academy, everywhere. Nobody carried these things. And Cabela's kind of updated their little bit after this winter, I guess, getting ready for springtime. And here they are. It's just like a normal jig head, but on the end, it's got this cool little mushroom head. And I thought that was pretty neat. You know what I mean? So I thought that was pretty cool. And you just run them up there just like a normal jig head. Nothing fancy. I haven't rigged one of these before. It's kind of an odd texture. I never was great at rigging worms. Too much. Wow. I don't know if I want to show this on camera, but right there. They're made out of this weird material. That is a piss poor excuse of rigging a worm. Like I said, these don't tear, so usually when you don't rig it like that well, you can sit there and kind of tear the plastic to form exactly how you want it to. But that's more or less half butt what it's supposed to look like. That your plastic's supposed to butt up to the head of that, and you're just supposed to drag this on the bottom. And on these jig heads, if you look, right there, they have that little, come on, focus camera. They have the little keeper right there. And you push this little soft plastic up there, and this thing is not coming off. I mean, look at that. That's over a foot long, and that sucker is not coming off. So what's really cool about these, what I like about it, is when you kind of get bites that the bass really don't commit, you know, they really don't swallow the whole bait, they just kind of bite the tail end. They can bite that and pull it, and it's not going to tear. So you're going to go through a whole lot less plastics than your normal Senkos. And I do believe they even make these like in 5-inch. So like these could totally replace your Senkos, in my opinion. Like I said, I haven't fished with them yet, so this is all just by me kind of guessing about how it would work. But I think that's a pretty good setup. That's a pretty cool little Ned rig there. And I bought 2 colors, orange and green pumpkin, I believe. You can't go wrong with green pumpkin. Although most of the waters I fish, I live here in West Texas. Excuse me. So most of the waters I do fish around here, they're really muddy. They have like 6-inch visibility. They're really, really muddy green water. So you really need to be throwing something more of a black or like a June bug color. But I try to experiment everywhere. You know, sometimes it's on the color, sometimes it's whether you're on the fish or you're not on the fish, you know, stuff like that. Every fisherman has a different story or excuse, should I say. But I'm excited to try these Ned rigs out. I watch, gosh darn it, I can't believe I forgot what's his name was. YouTube fishing vids, and he was catching a lot of bass this winter on the Ned rig. So that's what kind of inspired me to pick up the Ned rig. That's something I'd like to keep in my tackle bag. But like I said, the Walmart where I'm from here had a crap ton. I mean, a crap ton of Yum. They had them in boxes on the bottom of the shelves, and they had like a 99-cent sticker on them. And most of them were like all the same. It wasn't too much of a variety, but just the whole point of all of them being on sale for so cheap. I mean, that's pretty cool. Sorry about if the camera's kind of shaky. This desk I have is one of the desks you pick up from Walmart that costs like $20. And it's got my monitor, my computer, and all my stuff on it, and you barely touch it, and it like shakes. So apologize if it's kind of shaky. We've been actually financed like a bedroom set, and I got a desk at Ashley Furniture. So it's supposed to come in 2 to 6 weeks, more like 5 months, but they don't let you pick stuff up from the store anymore, so that's kind of crap. But they also had these on sale. They were still like $4 a pack. I think normally they're like $6 a pack. But the Strike King Rage Craws, these are really good. I watch a whole lot of Lunkers TV fishing and John B. All the Guggen Squad I watch. If you haven't really watched the Guggen Squad, you really should. A lot of people don't like them, you know, because they kind of hate on them for being kind of young and immature. But I think they're a really great bunch of guys. And they get to do fishing for a living. I mean, and record and bring videos, kind of like what I'm doing, but they get to do it for a job. And that's freaking awesome. So if you haven't checked out the Guggen Squad, I highly recommend you check those guys out. But anyway, these I called them a Rage Craw. This just says Rage Tail. But they're in green pumpkin. They're kind of a larger soft plastic. But usually with my craw baits, I'm not a big fan of throwing jigs. I don't know if it's just that I don't have very good luck with jigs, and I've never caught a fish on them. So a lot of fishermen I talk to, that's all they throw is jigs. I mean, they'll sit there and throw a jig. Winter, fall, summer, spring, that's all they put on their fishing pole is a jig. So I've never caught any, but this would make a really good jig trailer, in my opinion. Might kind of nib it off the top a little bit there. But that's a really good jig trailer. I like how the claws got a lot of action there, so that's pretty cool. But my favorite way to throw baits like this, and really any type of baits, is, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of VMC, but this is the package right here. It just says Drop Dead. And they're the belly weighted like swim bait hooks. These are 1/8 ounce. I know that glare is horrible, but they got the screw lock and they're belly weighted. And if I could find some in maybe like a 1/4 ounce, it would be freaking awesome. But like I said, the Cabela's that is an hour away from me in Lubbock, Texas. It's really even not a full blown out Cabela's. It's kind of an outpost is what they call it. So it's really not even a full blown Cabela's. So even their whole selection is really not that much to brag about. We did have a Gander Mountain there not too long ago, but they went out of business. I don't know if that was the kind of the whole Gander Mountain chain or just that store. I never really did any research in it. But this is kind of why I like to go through my stuff, is to clip off crap like that. When you're in a hurry and you just, you know, nip your braid and you're just gone, that's kind of why I like to go back through my tackle bag. But anyway, this is what the hook looks like. It's got that screw lock there on the front, and you got your belly weighted there. And like I said, one of my favorite ways to rig baits like these, or even that paddle tail Senko. Ever since I found these screw lock belly weighted hooks, I use them for everything. I don't throw a Texas rig no more. I don't really throw a lot of other rigs no more that I used to throw all the time. But you just screw the head on there and run it through just like a normal Texas rig, and then I sit there and kind of bury the tip of that hook there, and that way it's straight. I mean, it's not bent. And as this thing is kind of shimmying down, these claws will sit there and make a whole lot of action. And what I usually do is I like get at most bait stores or tackle stores that you go to, they have like scents, like the gel scents and all kinds of other stuff that you could kind of put on your soft plastics. And I think scent is a huge thing. You know, like even on this package here, the Rage Crawl, it says right there, with exclusive coffee scent. I mean, all companies are going to have this, their special scent, you know, their special fish attractant, make fish bite 10 times longer, stuff like that. But when you kind of smell it, this is fresh out of the bag. This bag has not been opened. So this is fresh out of the bag, and it smells like plastic. It doesn't really smell like, really like a whole lot of anything. So what I highly recommend is using scents. I know it's kind of a pain, but some of the gel scents you put on there, it'll last like 50 casts or so. And sometimes I'll, you know, want to switch to a different color or a different soft plastic, and I'll grab it like 50 casts later, and I'll grab it and it still has that scent on there, and I'm like, damn it, because in my hand it smells like crap the rest of the day. So it lasts on there. Even though you think it comes off like after the first couple casts, it really does last on there. And scent is a big thing. Like I said, with the waters that I fish in, they're really cloudy and murky and green and just nasty freaking water. So the fish really don't go by sight. They'll go by like the silhouette of the shadow of your bait, the rattles. That's why rattles are key. And the smell. Like just when you're going down the road and you're driving and you smell that barbecue, you know that barbecue place is always on the side of the road and they got their smoke blowing into the middle of the road, and you're just like, dang, I could really go for some barbecue. That's kind of the same concept with the fish. They smell it and they're just like, goodness, they want it. So even when they do bite your bait, even if they're fully not committed to your bait and they just kind of bite the end of it, before you feel your bite on your pole, they'll sit there and they already bit it, and if they has that flavor and that smell to it, that'll actually get them to actually take a second, you know, how they kind of do a second bite and actually eat your bait, and then allows them to bite down and for you to set your hook, and which is pretty cool. That was Bill of Rights. Oh goodness, sorry dude, I'm not used to this comments, but I guess I caught you at a concert. My bad, man. But it's pretty neat. That scent is kind of a big thing on on your baits, and even on your hard baits like or jigs, but like your rattle traps, your square bills. Don't be afraid. They sell this scent. I haven't bought it yet, but they sell a scent that's kind of like in a chapstick. You know, a chapstick you can kind of rub on your hard baits or your soft baits, and they say that works really well. And you know, a lot of people think it's kind of dumb rubbing that scent on your hard baits because it's more of a reaction based. Like your square bills, your rattle traps, you know, they're going along the bottom and they're banging the rocks and, you know, right in front of their face, and that's what triggers more of a reaction strike rather than, you know, just a normal strike. So scent really doesn't have too much to play there, in my opinion. But to me, if they do bite the bait and they're not hooked on them trebles, that next couple chomps on that bait that they do, whether they spit it out or actually take a second chomp, to me is the scent, the taste, the smell. That's, to me, is where you get most of your hookups, is when they fully commit to the bait. It feels real, it tastes real, that it's not something that's going to freak them out. Because you can watch videos all day long on YouTube where they show underwater footage of bass, you know, hitting baits. And sometimes they'll go up there and they'll have a jerk bait that has 3 treble hooks all the way down. And that bass will come up there and bite that jerk bait and then spit it out. And not get not one of those 3 treble hooks caught in his mouth. You're like, I can't even touch one of those hooks without sticking it through my finger. But they'll eat all 3 treble hooks and then spit it out without even getting hooked. So that's pretty wild that they're able to do that. So to me, that the scent is really what's gonna get you on the fully committed bites. You know what I mean? And one thing, another way besides the belly weighted hooks that I really do like to throw, I guess they call them a rugby jig. That's what I've heard them called in the past anyway. There's a rugby jig, and all it is a Texas hook, an offset worm hook. Let me be proper. An offset worm hook, and it's got a lead attached to it. This one is in blue for some reason. That's all they had. It's kind of a blue shiny fleck. But you tie your line onto that instead of the hook. You tie your line there. Excuse me. And this is kind of like a pegged Texas rig. You know, a lot of people sit there and they're starting to peg the Texas rigs more and more to where your weight doesn't actually slide back and forth. It's actually, you know, pegged to where it stays. So that's kind of like a pegged Texas rig. But what I like about it is that it's able to swivel. So say you do hop your bait up off the floor and this lands, this hook is still able to go in a circle. If there's current or the bait has appendages like this, it's still able to kind of flap around as it's sitting on the bottom of the floor. So it still has lots of action just with it sitting down. So you can hop it again and let it sit, and it's able to move and wiggle all at the same time. So I have yet to catch a fish with this, so this is just by me, once again, like a theory of mine. So they're pretty neat. These were by Strike King also, I believe. I need to get this Rage Crawl back in its package. But I just thought I'd do this live stream, kind of hang out with y'all. We've already been going for almost 24 minutes now, which is kind of crazy. It's only had 2 viewers. That's freaking sweet. I didn't think I was going to get any viewers, so the couple people that's joined on, I really do appreciate it. It'd be kind of cool if y'all could kind of comment on the chat. That'd be kind of cool. Let me know if y'all are enjoying the stream. If y'all would like to see more live streams. I kind of like the whole live stream idea because it's kind of kickback. You know what I mean? When I'm making videos or other people are making videos, you're trying to be professional. You know, speak to the camera, not look here, and trying to do takes and make sure you don't stutter and look like a buffoon, which I do most of the time. But I like the live stream idea. You know, it's kind of kickback, just hanging out, you know, going through my tackle bag, which I do a lot. Like I said, I don't get that often to go fishing, so you can ask my wife. I spend most of my time sitting here going through my tackle, even though I've gone through it like hundreds of times. I'll sit there and I'll go through it again just to double check, you know, just to look through it again. But like I said, I should be getting my desk here in a couple weeks, so the whole shakiness of the camera hopefully goes away. Which, like I said, I'm hoping so. But one of my other favorite creature baits to throw is these right here. It's a June bug 6-inch lizard. It's kind of a darker creature bait, but the lizard has so many appendages. You think like the rage crawls and other things have appendages. You got your head, and then it's got the front legs, the rear legs, and this ribbon tail on the end. Tell me that that does not have a lot of appendages on there. And like I said, I usually throw these on those belly weighted swim bait hooks. And man, when you sit there and kind of mess with the bait in the water, and you have this lizard fluttering down with the legs and the ribbon tail, this thing has a bunch of action. Some of my biggest bass that I've caught have came off lizards. But like I said, that may just be a bit of my luck, you know what I mean? But I'm hoping to get out there and fish a whole lot more this spring. They're actually putting on a few tournaments kind of close to where I live, or like I said, about an hour away from here. They're putting on a few tournaments, so I'm hoping to fish at least a few of those this year. I am pretty busy with work most of the time. Me and my dad do run our own backhoe service. So being the operator and the salesman and the company man and everything all together, it's a lot of stress and a lot of work. So it's kind of hard to do fishing and videos at the same time. So I really hope y'all kind of understand how much effort and stuff I put into these videos. Not so much like this live stream, it's kind of just hanging out in my room, but like the videos and bringing in all content and stuff I even film sometimes at work. It's actually quite a lot. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of editing, a lot of computer time. So it does take quite a bit. And some of you that do make your own videos, you know, you kind of understand that it is a lot of work. But I love it. I mean, I don't get paid by YouTube. Sadly, I'm no longer a part of the YouTube program. Kind of kicked me out ever since the update, so it kind of sucks. But I love doing YouTube. I love being in front of the camera. I know I'm not that appealing to look at, you know, double chin, overweight type of guy. It's not those six-pack guys that are on the videos all the time. But I like being on camera. I like sharing my knowledge. I like learning things from y'all guys. It's pretty cool to do the whole YouTube thing with the cameras and the fishing and the drones and the boat and all that stuff. It's quite a heck of a time. I do it even if I'm not getting paid, which I'm no longer getting paid. So I love bringing y'all videos just to help y'all out and just to hang out. I mean, it's all about learning from each other. You know, if I could help y'all's fishing go a little bit easier than the headaches that I had trying to learn to fish, that'd be pretty cool. I'm debating on whether to upload this to YouTube or just kind of leave it as a live stream for a while and take it down. So I'm not sure what I'll do there. But it's been pretty kind of cool hanging out with y'all. It's been 28 minutes. Like I said, we had a few viewers, so that's pretty cool. A lot of people were like, oh, you only got 2 viewers, 3 viewers? That sucks. I don't care. Y'all are my friends the way I see it. So heck, having y'all a couple on. I know y'all have a busy day. You know, no telling where from all over the world y'all are. So you might have your own whole plate of problems, you know what I mean? So just getting a few of y'all on here to kind of kick back and chat, you know, that's pretty good. I really do appreciate y'all's time. But if you could leave it in the comments or in the chat, you know, that you're enjoying the live streams, you want to see more. I could do the live streams a whole lot easier than I can do the videos. The live streams are pretty cool. But thank y'all to all that tuned into this. Like and subscribe if you're not a subscriber already, which is kind of weird because if I went live, it alerts the subscribers that I went live, so you're technically already a subscriber. Not sure how that works. But get everything wrapped up here and go eat some dinner. So thank y'all, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Now, how the hell do you end this dang thing? I'm going to hit the X button, and hopefully that does it. Hopefully. Let's try it.